Hello once again, it's Matthew here from Matthew North Music. Thank you for watching my latest video. And as ever, if you like the kind of videos that I make, whether they're about records or music, or whether it's electronics, or maybe it's something about the music business, or maybe even the odd tune that I post, please think about subscribing to the channel. It's completely free. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button down below, and if you click the little bell icon as well, then you'll always be notified each time that there's a new video. Anyway, today's video, as you can probably tell from the front, is about the contents of this box. Now, this arrived last week, and as you can see from the top, it's a little bit battered, it's a little bit bashed. And this actually came from Amazon France because they were doing this box set on offer, and it worked out at £105 shipped to the UK with no taxes, which is less than half what it was selling for in the UK. So, you know, it's still not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but at less than half price of its original retail, I kind of thought, well, I'm going to give it a go, because The Who are one of my favourite bands in the world. I've seen them probably more times now than any other major A-list band. And I was also fortunate enough to meet Pete Townsend a few years ago as well. And I saw The Who again this year, and they were terrific. And so I thought I'd give the Lifehouse / Who's Next box a listen. So let's get this open and see what we get. Now, as I said just now, the box is quite bashed, but I think it might be all right in that corner. I'm not 100% sure. So what we're going to do is I'm going to snip the tape on this end first. And this looks like this comes open. And there we've got a bit of paper in there, and we've got another box. So this is a box within a box, so that's good. And here it is, and we'll have a little look at the label here. It says here, Universal Music Group Supply Chain Limited, made in the Czech Republic, as so many things are now. Well, it says Moby there, but it's not Moby. It does say Who's Next, 10 CDs and Blu-ray. New item, so it does look like we've got the right box anyway. And let's get it open. So I'm going to be very careful with my scissors here. Just trim the edge there and lift that up. It's always a good idea when opening any kind of box that you don't dig in like that, because you never know where the actual card or the packaging or even indeed the item is. So we open this up, and you can see it's got the same foam packaging that we had with the Beatles Revolver box set. It slots in like a piece of Lego, really. And so that opens up, and inside is our box here. Now, the first thing to note with this box is it is a very, very weighty package. It is, you know, pretty solid and heavy. Looking at the hype sticker, it's got a wealth of information here. It's telling us that it's got the original album remastered on disc 1. Then on disc 2 and 3 are Pete's demos for Lifehouse. We've then got the New York sessions on disc 4, the Olympic sessions on disc 5, singles and more sessions on disc 6. Then we've got the Young Vic gig on discs 7 and 8, discs 9 and 10 live in San Francisco. And then we've got a Blu-ray that's got Who's Next plus 14 bonus tracks in Dolby Atmos and PCM stereo. We've got a 100-page book, new sleeve notes, some posters, tour program, pin button badges, photos, etc. Now, this isn't the first deluxe version of Who's Next. I bought one. I think it must have been the one that came out in 2001, because it was a triple vinyl LP set. And I bought that brand new a couple of years later, about 20 years ago. And I think I bought it in a record shop in York, and it was $14.99 for the triple album set. So that really tells how much vinyl has gone up in price since those days. I'm saying $14.99 was actually a pretty decent price. In fact, it's a very good price, whereas now you got something like the new Beatles album that's a triple set for the red and the blue, and they're £70 each. Right, let's get this thing unwrapped and let's have a look inside. Actually, before we do that, we'll just spin him around and we'll look at the back of the box. If you look at the back, it's very similar to the original album in that it's got that backstage photo of The Who, and just a repeat of what's on the hype sticker really. Polydor Records, Universal. If we look at the spine, you can see there's two books here. The Lifehouse graphic novel, the Who's Next Lifehouse storybook, as in documentary book. Got a pocket of memorabilia, and then we got the two folders with the discs in. So let's get this open. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully snip here, because I don't really want to take the plastic off at the moment. I'm just going to sort of snip it down a bit, and we can get to the guts of our set. So if I tip this out, there we go, there's our box emptied, and here's all our stuff. So let's have a look firstly at the book. So this is the Lifehouse graphic novel, and it's a very weighty, solid book. I mean, if this was a book published in its own right, it would probably be, you know, 30, 40 pounds in Waterstones, no question. And we'll just have a quick little look, because I don't really want to bend the pages too much, if you like, but you know, we'll have a quick flick through, and you can see that the quality of the print is very, very nice. It's really beautiful colours. The paper feels nice. There's, you know, it's great. It's a really, really great package. Yeah, really lovely artwork. Should give some pointers at the top about who did what. So the story's by John Harvey and David Hine, script by David Hine, based on Pete's story, and yeah, it's a really beautiful book. So that's the first surprise, because I didn't realise this was coming in the box set. So yeah, that's really nice. So yeah, I like that a lot. The next thing we've got is our book about Lifehouse. Not quite as heavy as the graphic novel, but it still says it's 100 pages, and we'll have a quick flick through this. And yeah, there's pictures of tapes, there's stuff about the Atmos mix. There's oh, some nice old photos there. That looks like Olympic Studios there. More tape boxes and sleeve notes, more photos. That's a great live photo there. Where was that? The rainbow, November 71. Yeah, lovely picture. There's David Arbus of East of Eden, who plays the fiddle on Barbara O'Reilly. And his stuff, this is obviously about other things that have happened to do with Lifehouse. There was this thing called the Lifehouse method, which was a piece of software online where you could upload a sound or type something in, and it would play a tune back at you, and it kind of nearly always sounded like Barbara O'Reilly. I think I've got my recording somewhere of the when I had a go on it, but yeah, it's making reference to Endless Wire, which was their fantastic 2006 sort of comeback album. And yeah, we've got some more nice pictures there. Picture of an old acetate on the previous page. And looks like probably Woodstock. Or was it the Isle of Wight? It's the Isle of Wight. So of course it was the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970 was when they started performing some of the music that they were working on at the time. Songs like Naked Eye and Water and Don't Know Myself, etc. In fact, really, The Who had they did a lot of work in those couple of years, 70 to 72. They did a load of singles like Relay, Joined Together. I think they wrote and recorded Long Live Rock at that point as well. They did heaps of stuff. Here we go. the text on page 75 has been updated for I Don't Know Myself. Again, that was recorded in 71, but obviously I think, pretty sure they played it the Isle of Wight. So obviously they didn't get everything perfect in the book, but as a book, that's a really, again, a really nice piece to have, and you know, a good few hours reading that as well, which would be nice. Now then, in here, what have we got next? I think this is our memorabilia folder. So what we've got here, we've got a reprint of a poster on the front for the Boston Tea Party, the legendary Boston venue where all the great bands played, but I think probably one of the most famous concerts ever recorded there was Fleetwood Mac in 1970, where they did 3 nights there, and the tracks from that gig got remixed and released properly in a few years back, and it's a fantastic set, it really is. So on here we've got a load of reprints of old tickets, which is always nice. The Who Television Spectacular, June 25th, London Weekend Television. Oh, that was. Might have been when they were making the Join Together video, because I think that might have been filmed there. I'm not sure. Right, so what have we got in here? Well, the first thing we've got here is a set of badges. Now, these badges look rather cool, and most people would like to wear them, but of course, when you get memorabilia in a box set, you never use the memorabilia. You want to keep it perfect. So there you go. And then we've got a nice photograph here of the Who with reproduction autographs. I'm guessing this was a signed photo that they've just reprinted. And the interesting thing, of course, is with the Who is there's very few artifacts that have all 4 original members' autographs on. I think my friend Lionel in Torquay, who put them on a number of times in the 60s, he's got a fully signed Who photograph, but he's the only person I've ever known that's ever had them, because they never used to always sign the same things. And here we've got a little book, and this is what's this? Looks like some kind of, maybe a program of some description. That looks like the same backstage area that's on the back cover of Who's Next. Yeah, this is a 1971 tour program where they started off in Southampton, went up to Birmingham, up to Glasgow, down to Blackpool, a little bit further along to Liverpool, then a bit further along to Stoke, and then Manchester, and then Hull. So all in the sort of northeast way, up to Newcastle again, and then 3 nights at the Rainbow Theatre in London. So absolutely nothing in the southwest. And there's a discography there. There's more pictures and stuff and other write-ups. So yeah, that's a nice little program reprint. I don't know if the original program was this size or if it was bigger, but that's one. And this looks like the tour program that they made for the 3 nights at the Finsbury Park Rainbow. And what have we got here? There's an advert for Harvest on the back, of all things, which is interesting, seeing that they're a different label to what the Who were on at the time. Michael Chapman's Wrecked Again, Pink Floyd's Medal, East of Eden, Barclay James Harvest, and who's that? Formerly, never heard of them. I mean, it might be because if David Arbrus from, and I hope that's how I pronounce his name, was obviously an EMI artist and he played on Who's Next, then maybe part of the deal was that EMI got an advert in the programme. I don't know. But then again, there's an advert for the Quiver album there, that's on Warner Brothers. So yeah, they probably anyone just advertised. And oh, there's a picture of Arthur. And Googe has, oh, so there was a feature in here for Kingdom Come. That's rather nice. That's rather nice. And of course, it's the first lineup of Kingdom Come because Julian Brown is still listed as being a member of the band, as is Des Fisher. So that's a nice surprise to see. So they were playing, and Kingdom Come played there on November the 7th. And of course, Kingdom Come played the Rainbow a few times because they also played there in '73, because I've got the fly poster for that. And so here's an advert for Galactic Zoo Dossier. It mentions the single Eternal Messenger, of which there were actually 2 versions of that song. One was only pressed up on a test pressing, and then there was the one that got released. And I, of course, have both versions. But where was Arthur playing? He was playing in Bristol Poly, London Central Polytechnic, Watford Hydrospace, Finsbury Park Astoria. Then there's Sounds of the 70s session. Now that session was recently released on the Arthur Brown box set, and that came from a tape that I acquired from Des Fisher because his uncle was a sound engineer for the BBC and made a copy of it. Otherwise it was completely missing. And I borrowed that tape off Des about 20 years ago and made a backup copy, and that's what Cherry Red used to put that out. So that was when it was recorded, November the 8th. Then there's Sheffield Polytechnic, and then the Brick House in Hull, and then Lancaster Polytechnic. So that's those dates there listed. Although Arthur did, a huge amount of dates in 71, of which we have some recordings. So who we got now? A feature on Alice Cooper. So this is like halfway through the book, and so it's not all about the Who. And now we're getting into the Who stuff. I'm going backwards on this, but yeah, it's very evident that tour programs were probably made by the venue rather than the band. That's what the impression I'm getting, and that's probably why lots of other bands are kind of advertised in here. Yeah, future attractions. So who are we going to get in there other than Alice Cooper? Mott the Hoople, Family and Terry Reid in America, Fairport Convention, Freddie King and the Grease Band, Leon Russell, Frank Zappa. Now I think that must be Frank Zappa 71. I think that must be when he got attacked by someone in the audience and fell down and had to be hospitalised and was not very well for a very long time. Interestingly though, it says December the 26th, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now I thought by 70 they'd changed their name to T-Rex. So whoever put this together probably didn't get the memo. But that's a really nice programme. And actually on the front it does say The Who in Quiver, November 4th, 5th and 6th. Alice Cooper and Arthur Brown, November the 7th. So Alice and Arthur actually shared the stage in 1971. And of course Arthur Brown and Alice Cooper have shared the stage many times since, and a few times fairly recently. Now, next we have some posters. So this says Rainbow, so I'm guessing this is a reprint of the Rainbow, formerly the Finsbury Park Astoria, and that's a lovely, lovely picture of the Who on that poster. It's a really nice, and you can actually see on the camera better than looking at close up that when you look at that distance, you can just see that's a really great picture of the Who. The next thing we've got is Top Rank Suite, Fillmore North promotion. So Sunderland Top Rank. That sounds like a proper sort of circuit venue. And look, late transport, no dress restrictions, and tickets only 50p. So I think that's a bit of a bargain, 50p to see the Who. And here we have another poster. And this poster, again, it's another decent sized poster. So this is Denver Coliseum. And yeah, as you can see again, it's American posters, they're kind of a thing to themselves, really. And the fact it kind of just says, the Who in big letters, but you can't actually, it's not that obvious to see it says Who. And that's the thing with a lot of these American posters. The graphics were so sort of flash, you couldn't actually see what was going on. Whereas something like the Top Rank suite that just says, the Who in big letters, you can see exactly what you're getting. Anyway, let's pop all this back in its folder, because the chances are, other than possibly doing something with that program features Arthur Brown. On the Arthur Brown page, there's I don't think I'm ever likely to take this out again. I mean, that's a little bit unfair, but you know, memorabilia packs just stay in the pack. Right, now we're going to look at the important thing, which is the discs themselves. And inside here, it says here the Who's Next Lifehouse disc 1 to 6. On the back, it lists what the discs are. And yeah, as we look inside, we can see it's very similar to how the Beatles box sets have been done and many others, that we have the discs and they've got their own little sleeves, so they're not going to fall out. It's not like the Pink Floyd Immersion box sets. And there's one of the discs. It's got the Track Records logo on there. And this does not appear to be scratched in any way, which is nice. I don't know how the other discs are going to look, but we'll randomly pick one out. So we'll pick out Pete's Lifehouse Demos number 2. And that's got an IBC Studios label, so that looks quite nice. I don't know if the other one has the same label or not, but we may as well have a look. And yeah, it's got IBC again, but it's quite nice. It's got these sort of reproduction tape boxes, and there's a picture of Pete there with his VCS3 synthesizer there. In fact, the same synthesizer that Julian Paul Brown played in Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come. And this one has a different picture of Pete in his Twickenham studio. In fact, Pete told me that studio once got flooded and a lot of his tapes got damaged, which is not a great thing. Now, this is from the record plant. This has Naked Eye written in pen on it, so they're obviously working on that there. And that's got a different label again. It says record plant. And yeah, it's got quite a nice texture to it, that disc. And I'm guessing, now this one says Olympic Studios, so that's probably got an Olympic label. Yeah, Olympic Sound Studios with a mock-up. Well, I don't know if it's a mock-up or not, but that does look like a genuine Olympic Sound label, because it's the same style label that's on the Arthur Brown Kingdom Come Galactic Zoo Dossier multi-track tapes, which I am the keeper of. Singles and sessions, this is reproduced the sleeve of the Won't Get Fooled Again single on the front. And on the back, it's got the a European sleeve of the Seeker. And I mean, if you look at the tracks that are on here, you know, you've got the Seeker, Heaven and Hell, Water, I Don't Know Myself, Naked Eye, Water, Let's See Action, Join Together, Relay, Long Live Rock. I mean, that's a great bunch of tracks. I mean, that's... You could easily almost call it, if you didn't have the tracks repeating, because there's different versions of some of the same songs, and you just had one of each track, that would be a classic Who album right there, just those singles that they recorded at the time, because they were all brilliant. I think that was probably my favourite period of Who singles, when that lot all came out. So yeah, that's our first set of discs. Now we've got the second set, and again, it's a similar front and back to it, and this is all mostly live material. And so here we have, and the first disc is live at the Young Vic in London in 1971. Now this was released on the last Who box set, so you know we kind of know this material, and yeah, it's a nice pretty label. And one of the tracks from this gig, I think it was Boney Maroney, was actually released on the B-side of the reissue of Won't Get Fooled Again that came out round about 1988, when the Who's Better, Who's Best compilation came out. And it was all around the time of when the Who got back together to do the BPI Awards. So there we go, slightly different coloured label, I think, but yeah, it's the other Young Vic. Then we've got the San Francisco Civic Auditorium in 1971. This is a gig I've not heard. I'm guessing it was probably recorded by Bobby Pridden with his mobile gear that he used to record Who gigs on, like the There was another one. Was it? I think another one was San Francisco, which had like a half-hour version of My Generation from '69, which they were going to use as a live album, and then they scrubbed it all and did live at Leeds. But again, you know, there we go. Nice picture of the Who there, and they still were doing Tommy and Naked Eye, and a version of Going Down, which actually I did listen to that on streaming. Actually, the song of the Freddie King London sessions that Leon Russell wrote. And it's also a song I know very well because in the blues band I play, and it's the song we always end the set with. So this is the Blu-ray, and this has got the album in Dolby Atmos, DTS 5.1 and PCM stereo. And the track listing is you've got the basic album, and then there's bonus tracks. You've got The Seeker, Here for More, Now I'm a Farmer, I Don't Know Myself, Water, Naked Eye, Pure and Easy, Too Much for Anything, Let's See Action, When I Was a Boy, Join Together, Put the Money Down, Relay, and Long Live Rock. So you've really got a great album, and then you've got a killer set of extra tracks, because as I said, they're all really good songs. I mean, I know a lot of us know these songs backwards, but to have them in one place, I think it's really good. And I was going to look at the just general feel of this. I think is, you know, it's not flimsy. It's a well, you know, the folder's pretty decent, to be honest. And so yeah, we've got all the CDs, we've got the memorabilia, and we've got the 2 books. Now that, I think, just about wraps up what we've got. Well then, what's my overall impression of this box? Well, it's very heavy, which is good, because it means you get a lot of stuff for your money. Now, I've never been a massive fan of memorabilia in box sets. I kind of don't see the point. But on this set, I think the 2 reproduction programs are actually interesting. I think the posters look good, and you could frame them on your wall, and I think they would look good. And the badges are a nice touch, because actually if you did want to wear them, they're a decent quality item. So from that point of view, it's all functional. Whereas some box sets that do memorabilia, they put like reproduction tickets and reproduction backstage passes and things. They're no use to anybody, because you're not going to get one of those tickets and take it to a gig and say, oh, I missed this gig in 1971, can I get in free tonight? You know, that's not going to work. But a poster for your wall, pin badges, and reading material, that's all fine. That's all good stuff. I think the 2 books are very, very well put together. They're very well printed. The paper's nice and thick. It feels like a quality product. The discs are all in nice individual covers. And of course, if you want to, you can take the covers out the box, and you can put the CDs on your shelf and keep this somewhere else, which is, you know, a really handy thing to do. And so, like I said, when this first came out, I can't remember the original retail price, but I think it was something around about £250, something like that, which I thought was actually, you know, I thought that was a lot of money. But even at that price, you are getting something for your money, and you're getting a lot of new content as well. You've got 2 complete concerts. I know one has been out before, but it's been out of print. And I'm guessing the mastering's going to be better on this than the ones that were done in the early 2000s, because, you know, technology and skills and whatever has moved on. I know for a fact, because I've read it in many interviews, that Pete has worked really hard getting all his demos up to scratch on this. And I think there were a few bits on these demos where there were dropouts and things, and I know he had to repair them. And I seem to have the impression that he actually did re-record a couple of parts just to fix damage in tape on the demo. So that's something nice anyway. There's 2 discs worth of that. And this was Pete Townshend's biggest project, really, was the Lifehouse, and it was something he never got to finish as he wanted it. And then later on in the late 90s, he went back to it, and he did like a stage play kind of thing about it, and it became a radio play. And so it's always been there. And I think even though this album has been remastered and re-released a couple of times now, I think the technology that we have now that we didn't have 10 years ago, not even 5 years ago, it's certainly not 10 years ago, and certainly not 20 years ago, means that you can do a lot more with it, and more stuff gets found over time as well. I mean, any deluxe box set from 20 years ago of any album, I will guarantee whatever that album is, that if they were to do it now, they would have more material to add to that box set because more stuff's been found over time, more stuff's been dug up from archives. Particularly things with the way of the internet, where people that have been sat on tapes, maybe, you know, stuff's turned up. I mean, literally archive material is turning up every single day. And I'm actually going to do a few videos about some of the other archive material that I've managed to discover in the last 25 years that I've been looking for stuff. But anyway, I'm going to give this a good listen over the next few weeks, and I'm very, very much excited to listen to it. But I think this is an absolutely fantastic box set. I don't think it could have been done any better, to be honest. Maybe the classic rock, classic artist, whatever it was called, classic albums documentary of Who's Next could have been added to the Blu-ray. However, that documentary is some years old now, and maybe they should have done an updated version, I don't know. But I think everybody kind of knows the story, and it's all in the book anyway. So I think, you know, seeing an old documentary that most of us have seen before, maybe not. But that's just one thing you could have possibly added to the set. But other than that, I think it's, you know, pretty excellent. As I said, you know, the singles that they made at the time, having all of those as part of the box set is great, because, as I say, I think they're some of the best singles the Who ever made. You know, Long Live Rock, Joined Together, Naked Eye, you know, all really, really great songs. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, as I said, please like and subscribe, and as ever, I'll catch you on the next one.